Close your eyes. Let the sounds of your world begin to fade. We are about to travel to a place defined not by what is there, but by what is not. A place where the universe seems to have held its breath for billions of years. Tonight, we are not journeying to a brilliant star or a swirling galaxy. We are journeying into the quiet, into the dark. We are going to the Boötes Void, an anomaly so vast and so empty it has been called the Great Nothing. You will learn why this silent corner of the cosmos is one of the most profound mysteries ever discovered. And perhaps, in its immense emptiness, you will find a unique and boundless sense of peace. To understand the shock of this discovery, we must first picture the universe as astronomers began to see it in the late 20th century. For a long time, we imagined galaxies scattered through space more or less at random, like dust motes in a sunbeam. But in the 1970s and 80s, new surveys began to map the cosmos in 3 dimensions. What they found was not random at all. The universe has a structure, a magnificent, intricate structure, often called the cosmic web. Galaxies are not loners. They're gathered together in immense filaments and walls, stretching for hundreds of millions of light years. These filaments surround vast, almost empty regions, like the bubbles in a cosmic foam. These empty regions are the voids, and in 1981, while studying this new map, astronomer Robert Kirshner and his team found a bubble so large, so impossibly empty, that it stood out from all the rest. They had found the void of all voids. Let us begin by trying to comprehend the scale of this place. It is a task that bends the mind, but in that effort, we can find a sense of release from our smaller, terrestrial concerns. Imagine our own galaxy, the Milky Way. It is 100,000 light years across, a swirling city of billions of stars, including our sun. It feels impossibly large to us. Now, imagine taking our galaxy and placing it at the very center of the Boötes Void. From the edge of the Milky Way, if you were to look out into the void, you would see almost nothing. The next nearest major galaxy would be so far away, it would be a barely perceptible smudge of light. The emptiness is the defining feature. This void is a nearly spherical region of space with a diameter of roughly 330 million light years. 330 million. It is so large that it represents a significant fraction of the entire observable universe. To put that number, 330 million light years, into a more tangible perspective, consider the journey of light. Light, the fastest thing in the universe, would take over 300 million years to cross from one side of this void to the other. Think of the entire history of complex life on Earth, from the first amphibians crawling onto land to this very moment. That entire span of time is not long enough for a single photon of light to complete its journey across this chasm of nothingness. The sheer volume of this space is staggering. It can contain thousands upon thousands of galaxies like our own, yet it is almost entirely devoid of them. This is not just an empty room. It is an empty continent in the cosmic landscape, a place where the universe's grand construction project seems to have simply stopped. The discovery itself was a moment of profound scientific bewilderment. The team of astronomers was patiently measuring the redshifts of distant galaxies. Redshift is how we measure cosmic distance. The more an object's light is shifted toward the red end of the spectrum, the faster it is moving away from us, and thus, the farther away it is. As they pointed their telescopes toward the constellation Boötes, the herdsmen, they kept finding nothing. Galaxy after galaxy they measured was either in the foreground, relatively close to us, or in the distant background. In between, there was a vast, uncharted gap. It was as if someone had taken a giant cosmic cookie cutter and removed a huge chunk of the universe. The data was so strange, so unbelievable that at first they suspected their equipment was malfunctioning. But the equipment was fine. The data was correct. They had stared into the abyss, and the abyss had stared back with an unnerving silence. Robert Kirshner famously commented on the discovery, saying, "If the Milky Way had been in the center of the Boötes Void, we wouldn't have known there were other galaxies until the 1960s. Think about that. For nearly all of human history, we would have looked up at a night sky utterly devoid of the smudges of distant galaxies. Our cosmic neighborhood would have been just that, ours and ours alone. The grand realization that we are but one island of stars among billions would have been delayed, hidden from us by the profound, isolating emptiness of the void. It's a chilling, yet strangely calming thought. Now, it is important to clarify what we mean by empty. The Boötes Void is not a perfect vacuum, a place with absolutely nothing in it. That kind of perfect emptiness likely doesn't exist anywhere in the universe. Instead, it is better described as being underdense. It is a region with a density far, far lower than the cosmic average. If you were to travel through it, you would still encounter stray hydrogen and helium atoms, the thin, primordial soup of the cosmos. You might even encounter particles of dark matter, the mysterious substance that makes up most of the universe's mass. But the star stuff, the matter that clumps together to form galaxies and nebulae, is almost entirely absent. In the decades since its discovery, astronomers have peered deeper into the void, and they have found a few things. As of our current understanding, we have identified around 60 galaxies within this enormous volume. 60, in a space that should, by all statistical averages, contain thousands. Imagine a map of the United States, brightly lit by its major cities. And then imagine a region the size of half the country, with only a handful of tiny, isolated towns in it. These 60 galaxies are cosmic castaways, floating alone in an ocean of darkness, separated from their nearest neighbors by unimaginable distances. Their light travels for tens of millions of years through the dark before it might encounter another island of stars. They are the loneliest galaxies in the universe. The existence of these lonely galaxies tells us something crucial. The void is not a place where matter cannot exist, but rather a place where the conditions for galaxy formation were suppressed. The cosmic web, with its dense filaments, is where gravity had enough material to work with. It pulled gas and dust together, igniting the fires of star birth and building the grand galactic structures we see everywhere else. The voids are the leftover spaces, the regions from which matter was drawn away, flowing like cosmic rivers into the gravitational basins of the filaments. The void is not a hole in space. It is a valley in the landscape of cosmic density, a place left behind by the great migration of matter. So, how does such a monumental structure form? The standard model of cosmology does have an explanation, and it is as grand as the void itself. The theory suggests that in the very early universe, just after the Big Bang, there were tiny quantum fluctuations in the density of space. Some areas were infinitesimally denser than others. Over billions of years, gravity amplified these differences. The slightly denser regions pulled in more and more matter, becoming the seeds of galaxy clusters and filaments. The slightly less dense regions, in turn, became emptier and emptier as their matter was stolen away by their massive neighbors. The Boötes Void, according to this theory, is simply the result of smaller voids merging together over cosmic time. Like soap bubbles, coalescing into one giant bubble. This explanation makes a certain kind of elegant sense. It paints a picture of our universe as a dynamic, evolving structure, sculpted by the patient, relentless hand of gravity. It is a natural consequence of the laws of physics as we understand them. And yet, there is a problem. The problem is one of size and time. The Boötes Void is so large that, according to some calculations, it simply should not have had enough time to form since the beginning of the universe. The process of small voids merging is a slow one, and the sheer scale of the great nothing pushes the limits of what our cosmological models predict is possible in the 13.8 billion years the universe has been around. This is where the anomaly lies. The Boötes Void is a statistical improbability. It is an outlier, a feature of the cosmic map that makes cosmologists pause and double-check their math. Its existence hints that perhaps our understanding of the early universe, of the way structures formed and evolved, might be incomplete. It is a quiet, gentle challenge to our most fundamental theories. It doesn't scream that our physics is wrong, but it whispers a question from the depths of its emptiness. Are you sure you know the whole story? This is the true mystery of the void. It's not just that it's empty. It's that it might be too empty, too soon. This statistical tension has led to more speculative, more imaginative ideas. While not mainstream science, they are fascinating to contemplate as we drift deeper into this silent expanse. One idea is that our universe might have collided or bumped into another universe in the distant past. Such a cosmic bruise could have left a lasting scar, a region of space with different properties, a place where the normal rules of structure formation were disrupted. In this view, the Boötes Void is not just an empty space in our universe, but perhaps a ghostly imprint of another, a phantom limb of the multiverse. It is a beautiful, if unproven, thought. Another fascinating line of thinking involves a concept called texture. Some theories of cosmology predict the formation of topological defects in the fabric of space-time as the universe cooled after the Big Bang. A texture would be a vast, tangled knot in the space-time that would rapidly unwind and expand, leaving behind a distorted region of space. Such an event could have swept matter out of a huge area, creating a super void like the one we observe. Imagine the universe as a cooling crystal, A texture would be a flaw in that crystal, and the void would be the lasting evidence of that ancient imperfection. It is a reminder that even on the grandest scales, the universe is not perfect. Let us float now in our minds within the center of this great nothing. The silence here is absolute. There is no stellar wind, no radiation from nearby quasars, no gravitational pull from a neighboring galaxy. There is only the faint, uniform glow of the cosmic microwave background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang itself. It would be the same in every direction, a perfect, unchanging, ancient light. Here, time itself might feel different. Without the familiar clocks of orbiting planets and dying stars, the passage of eons would be marked only by the slow, imperceptible expansion of space itself. It is a place of ultimate stillness. Imagine one of the 60 lonely galaxies within the void. Imagine a planet orbiting a star within that galaxy. The beings on that world would look up at a sky profoundly different from our own. Their galaxy would be a brilliant band of light across the sky, just like our Milky Way. But beyond it, there would be almost nothing, just a few faint, impossibly distant points of light. They might develop philosophies and religions centered around their own uniqueness, their divine isolation, in a universe that seemed to contain nothing else but them. They would be the sole inhabitants of a vast, dark cathedral. What a shock it would be for them to one day build a telescope powerful enough to see beyond the void and discover a cosmos teeming with life and light. The darkness of the void is not a malevolent darkness. It is not the darkness of a predator or a threat. It is a primordial darkness, the canvas upon which the universe was painted. In our own lives, we are so often surrounded by light and noise, by constant information and stimulation. The idea of true, profound silence and darkness can be unsettling. But here, in the Boötes Void, it is the natural state. It is the baseline of existence. The light and matter of the galaxies are the exceptions, the beautiful, temporary deviations from this fundamental state of quietude. There is a deep comfort in that thought. Let's consider the perspective of dark matter. This invisible substance, which we can only detect through its gravitational effects, vastly outweighs all the normal matter we can see. Dark matter also forms a cosmic web, a scaffolding upon which galaxies are built. The Boötes Void, therefore, is also a void in the dark matter web. It is a region where this invisible cosmic skeleton is also sparse. It is a hole not just in what we can see, but in the very underlying structure of the cosmos. The silence of the void is a gravitational silence as much as it is a visual one. The study of voids like Boötes is becoming a critical part of modern cosmology. They are not just empty spaces. They are pristine laboratories for studying the nature of dark energy. Dark energy is the mysterious force that is causing the expansion of the universe to accelerate. In the dense filaments of the cosmic web, gravity and dark energy are locked in a complex tug-of-war. But inside a void, gravity is incredibly weak. Here, dark energy reigns supreme. By studying the subtle motions of the few galaxies within the void and how the void itself changes and grows over time, scientists hope to gain a clearer understanding of this enigmatic force that will ultimately decide the fate of our universe. The shape of the void is also a subject of study. While we often describe it as a sphere, it is more likely an irregular, blob-like shape. Mapping its precise boundaries is a painstaking process, requiring the measurement of thousands of galaxies that lie on its edges. Each measurement is a point of light that helps to trace the shoreline of this great cosmic ocean of emptiness. It is like mapping a continent in the dark, using only the lighthouses on its coast. Each new data point adds another brushstroke to our portrait of the great nothing. Let your breathing slow down. Inhale and imagine the quiet expanse. Exhale and release the noise of your day. The Boötes Void does not ask for anything. It does not demand attention like a brilliant nebula or a violent supernova. It simply is. Its existence teaches us a profound lesson about contrast. We can only truly appreciate the intricate beauty of the cosmic web by understanding the vast emptiness it contains. The light is made more beautiful by the darkness. The structure is made more meaningful by the void. They are two sides of the same cosmic coin. As we float here, suspended in the gentle, pervasive dark, we can reflect on our own need for stillness. Our minds are often like the cosmic web, filled with filaments of thoughts, clusters of worries, and bright, noisy events. But we also need our own internal voids, spaces of quiet where we can rest, recharge, and simply be. The Boötes Void is a cosmic permission slip to embrace that emptiness, to understand that it is not a lack of something, but a presence of peace. It is a natural and necessary part of the whole. Think about the light from the galaxies on the far side of the void. For that light to reach us, it must travel for hundreds of millions of years through this barren landscape. This light is ancient. It carries stories of galaxies as they were when dinosaurs roamed the earth. The void acts as a colossal time capsule, preserving this ancient light on its long journey. The emptiness is not a barrier, but a clear, clean window into the distant past. By looking across it, we are looking back in time. There is a theory in art and design called negative space. It is the space around and between the subjects of an image. A skilled artist knows that the negative space is just as important as the subject itself. It gives the subject shape, definition, and emphasis. The Boötes Void is the ultimate example of cosmic negative space. It is the silence between the notes of the universal symphony. Without it, the music of the cosmos would be a cacophony. The void provides the rhythm, the pacing, and the context for everything else that exists. As our journey continues, feel the gentle pull of perspective. The problems and anxieties that seemed so large just a short while ago, how do they measure up to this scale? A difficult day at work, a worry about the future. Place it in the context of a space 330 million light years across. See it shrink. See it become a tiny, insignificant speck. This is not to diminish your feelings, but to offer a sense of liberation. In the face of such cosmic grandeur, we are given the freedom to let go. Some scientists have playfully referred to the Boötes Void as the most boring place in the universe. But there is a deep beauty in its simplicity. It is a place free from chaos and complexity. A star is a complex engine of fusion. A galaxy is a chaotic dance of billions of stars. A nebula is a messy, turbulent nursery of creation. The void, by contrast, is pure. It is simple. It is a return to a more fundamental state of being. It is the universe in a state of deep meditation. The void is also a humbling reminder of the limits of our perception. For most of history, we had no idea it was there. It existed, silent and vast, completely beyond our awareness. What other colossal structures, what other profound truths about the universe might still be lying just beyond the reach of our current technology? The void teaches us humility. It encourages us to keep looking, to keep questioning, and to always be prepared to have our understanding of reality completely overturned. Let us begin our journey back now. We pull away from the center of the void, and the 60 lonely galaxies shrink behind us. We are moving toward the edge, toward the great filament wall that marks its boundary. Slowly, tentatively, the light begins to return. First as a faint, distant glow on the horizon. Then, the glow resolves into individual points of light, the frontier galaxies that line the shore of the void. The silence begins to break, replaced by the gentle gravitational hum of a billion stars. We cross the threshold, leaving the great nothing behind us. We are now back in the cosmic web, surrounded by the familiar tapestry of galactic clusters. The darkness is no longer absolute, but filled with the smudges and spirals of distant island universes. The contrast is breathtaking. After spending time in the profound emptiness, the normal universe feels impossibly rich, vibrant, and alive. We have a newfound appreciation for the light, for the matter, for the very existence of structure. We pass by galaxies of all shapes and sizes, elliptical galaxies, old and golden, spiral galaxies, blue with the fire of young stars. We see nebulae where new suns are being born, and the remnants of supernovas where massive stars have died. The universe is a place of endless cycles, of birth and death and rebirth. This creative energy, this constant activity, feels all the more precious after our visit to the quiet place, where none of this happens. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, comes into view. It is a comforting, familiar sight, a spiral of light in the darkness, our home. We navigate toward the Orion Arm, toward a very particular, very ordinary yellow star. We see its system of planets, and we focus on the third one, a beautiful blue and white marble. The journey is almost over. We are returning from the edge of understanding, from the largest and loneliest place we know, back to the warmth and familiarity of our own world. As we gently re-enter the atmosphere of our thoughts, carry with you the memory of the void. Carry with you the sense of its scale, its silence, and its peace. Remember that even in a universe teeming with energy and light, there are places of profound stillness. And just as the universe needs its voids to have structure, we too need our moments of quiet to find our own. The great nothing is not a place to fear, but a cosmic symbol of the peace that lies within the silence. We have traveled tonight across an ocean of emptiness, so vast it challenges our theories of the universe itself. The Boötes Void, the great nothing, is more than just an anomaly in a cosmic map. It is a profound statement about existence. It shows us that the universe is a place of breathtaking contrasts, of brilliant filaments and deep, silent valleys. we learned that its very existence pushes the boundaries of our cosmological models, suggesting that the story of our universe might be even grander and more mysterious than we imagine. In its silence, we found a strange and beautiful peace, a cosmic permission to let go of the noise and embrace the stillness. The Great Nothing is a reminder that emptiness is not an absence, but a presence, the canvas upon which all of creation is painted. Thank you for joining this journey into the quiet heart of the cosmos. If this voyage helped you find a measure of peace, please consider subscribing for more explorations of the universe. Your likes and comments are the stars that light our way. And now, as you drift off to sleep, I leave you with a final thought. If you could send a single sound, a single piece of music, or a single message to echo through the silence of the Boötes Void for eternity, what would it be? Sleep well.